This podcast may contain views and opinions which are those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any local agency, organization, union, employee, or company, including the podcast.
Welcome back, boys and girls. Nice to have you.
Welcome back.
Happy belated Mother's Day at this point. Mother's Day is tomorrow. We're shooting on Saturday this week. But happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, all the Teamster mothers, all the union mothers, and all the mothers of Teamsters.
Yeah.
Like I said, mothers in general put up with a bunch of bullshit.
Just a little bit of bullshit, right? A little bit of bullshit.
So we appreciate you. That being said, thank you guys for tuning in every week to this show. If you're new, we just go over union business, a lot of stuff pertaining to the Teamsters, but not only to the Teamsters. All of us here today, came out of UPS, but we definitely cover a lot of other barns, other crafts, as they
really follow the labor movement.
Yeah, we follow the labor movement. So thanks for tuning in. Without further ado, let's get to the show. We got a guest this week.
Oh.
I'm excited. Mm-hmm. We've actually had this guest on prior, but had to dump the show. He sucked.
You suck.
You suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck.
The boy has no skills.
Basically, is what happens.
That's rude. That's rude. That's rude.
Calm down. Everyone's all fucking sensitive. No, I just we had some technical difficulties with the last show, so we got rid of it. But he's back. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Andrew Westman.
How's it going, guys?
What's up, brother?
What's up?
Thanks for bringing me on. And you told me last time, like at 2 hours heads up, and I had my kids. And then this guy beat that by giving me 5 minutes heads up this time. So I don't want to hear it, dude.
Oh, hey, it is what it is. We fly by the seat of our pants here, Mr. Westman.
Sir.
We have zero budget,
That's a good
and
thing when you say it that way.
we definitely fly by the seat of our pants. I'm not worried about it. Anyways, let's redo Get to Know Andrew Westman. So,
Ready.
I mean, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Let's start off with personal life. Where do you come from?
I'm from Orange County, California.
Born and raised?
Born and raised. I've been at UPS for 6 years and a shop steward for 5 years.
It's insane, by the way.
I'm from the Anaheim building, and I just hopped right in. I was kind of acting as shop steward before I even knew what that was. And then when Eric won, I met Nick. Nick was like running down the pens and kind of gave him the 401 on what's good. Yeah, Nick Bruno, and kind of talked to him a little bit, and then he approached me with the idea of being a steward, and I jumped right on it, and I thought it was right up my alley.
That was in the part-time first, right?
Yeah, I was in the building at that time, but with 1 year.
Wow.
1 year served.
Pretty solid, dude.
Yeah, that's good.
But before that, I did seasonal, and I was Eric's driver helper.
Really?
So I met Eric before I was even hired officially.
Oh, wow.
And dude, yeah, I was driver helping my close friend Alex, and they didn't like me and him together because yeah, they would follow us during peak, dude. And
Really?
yeah, they would follow us during peak, me and Alex. Yeah, they definitely should have followed us. But one day they offered for me to driver help another driver, and I was totally opposed to it. I didn't want to go, like, because I did this for my friend, and they were like, "Oh, he's a shop steward," and I'm like, "Don't really know what that is," but I was like, "All right." They were saying he's cool, whatever. So I got on his car, and he definitely educated me a lot, and was definitely super cool to me while I was on his truck, and
Awesome.
we took care of business. Yeah, and then after that, I remember like getting hired and then running into problems with management
Right away.
Yeah, right away before he
Because
was.
you were a dick.
It makes me perfect for the job. But yeah, I ran into some like harassment issues, and first person I ran to was Eric, and Eric nipped in the bud real quick.
Nice.
And then so ever since then, I knew what Eric was about, and definitely inspiring watching him do his
for sure.
do his like acting as a steward was watching him do that. Like, gave me a lot of confidence to be able to like now, like perform the same job. You know.
Yeah, he loves it. He's a union guy through and through. Always has been as long as I've known him. And just it is, like you said, inspiring. I mean, he just has a heart for it. It's not fake. It's not. He doesn't do it for a title.
Yeah. It's legitimate. He's 100% real. He lives it. Yeah.
Was it just the problems you were having with management that kind of got you involved, or?
I feel like I'm like anti-bullying. I don't like when people power abuse it, and so we have the luxury, I guess, of being able to fight that. And I always say like people will ask me like why, because it's unpaid.
Yeah.
You get a target on your back, whatever.
Work.
Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it. We have the rights to do it. Someone's got to do it. And if I have the ability to do it and I can handle it, then I should do it. I feel that way.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
important.
That's fair. Most people don't want to put themselves out that way because they want to. We hear this all the time. They want to stay under the radar. They don't want to.
Oh yeah,
They
want
don't
to fly
wanna-
under
They
the
want to
radar.
fly
Yeah.
under the radar. They just want to
I
get
don't
their
want
career over
problems.
with, regardless of whether or not management is taking advantage or bullying other members.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's only a matter of time, and at least in my experience. And some people are able, very few, I should say, are able to fly under the radar for their whole career.
Yeah.
It just there's going to come a point where, for some reason, one supervisor, one manager is going to have it out for you. It
Exactly.
just doesn't rub him the right way, or you don't rub him the right way, or whatever. He just doesn't like you, doesn't like your face, something, right? I mean, at the end
Exactly.
of the day, it's going to be something, and when that time comes, you'll learn. Because I know a lot of people that sit there and they'll, like they not only want to fly under the radar, they honestly believe that management's there to be friends
Yeah.
and to help them, and they've never had a bad experience, and that's great. I mean, by all means, that's cool. You have some supervisor friends or whatever, but one day you're going to get the wrong one, or even one of your friends, which has happened to me when I was young. I had friends that were supervisors. One of them got yelled at because he wasn't holding his group accountable or whatever, and then they turn that back on you, and you're like, hey, whoa, I thought we were cool. But
Yeah.
it doesn't always work out that way.
I've had this conversation with my dad because, like, initially my dad was like, this is a bad idea. My dad got fired from the county. Right when the Teamsters organized it, before that he got fired.
Oh, shit.
And he was like, Andrew, you're putting your target on your back. Like, what's the benefit of this to you? And I just told him, either you can bend over backwards and bend over for this company and hope it works out for you, or you can learn your rights, practice the methods, like get as solid as you can, and lean on that instead of having to put your future and faith in the hope that they will have mercy on you.
Because they won't. Eventually, they're going to try to fuck you.
It's like, just like you said, if whatever, it could be anything.
Cut that out.
I'm going to have to.
It's just the truth. Eventually, they're going to try to fuck you.
They're going to try and jackhammer you.
Yeah. And you're going to be like, hey. And here comes Andrew Westman.
And they're like you said, there are supervisors that want to be your friend, whatever, but there are supervisors that want to make a name off you.
Yeah.
And you'll run into those guys.
But I see, like I was saying, even the ones that do want to be your friends, and they might actually really believe that. Like, hey, I like these guys. They're cool. The union guys, they're cool. Eventually, they're going to get some pressure from up top.
Yeah.
And
They have
it's like, hey,
someone
you
that-
can't be fucking,
They have someone to answer
being
to.
friends with
Yeah, they have someone to answer
fucking
to.
union guys. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Thankfully, I got caught so early with the union bug that I got direction really quick that like they're not your friend, you know? Like thankfully I wasn't 5-10 years into this where I'm so blind thinking that I can be friends with these guys and have it like really play out poorly for me.
Yeah.
And so like when with my management, what I always tell them, especially when I get new management, is I tell them like, hey, I'm not your friend. My allegiance and loyalty lies to this local and my members. We can have a good working relationship, but you need to know where I stand up front.
Yeah, I think that's the way it needs to be. Unfortunately, you know, I mean, I get it. There's cool supervisors or whatever, and you know, there's cool people everywhere. But at the end of the day, we all got a job to do, and they're going to be forced to do theirs, and you're going to be forced to exercise your rights. There's, like I said earlier, there's very few people that actually get to fly under the radar their whole career. It just doesn't happen. You're either, you know, you're getting fucked and you don't care, or you're standing up.
Yeah, some people look the other way because they're scared.
It's hard to look the other way when you're getting fucking pounded.
Dude, they'll do it. They'll do it, man.
Can you spit on it? And
It sounds like you're speaking from personal experience.
You know, we just had a steward training, and they were talking about like why some of the membership doesn't get involved, you know? And I think a lot of it is either fear of getting that target on your back, or like looking at the union as a service, you know, like
and not
like they
something
said,
that you're a piece of.
It's like a gear system. Like every piece works in unison, and every part is needed. And if the membership is not involved, then Eric has no ammo. He can't do his job if nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? And it's our future, our money, our family's well-being that's at stake.
The power is derived from the members.
And
it really is.
And these companies would give you peanuts if they could,
or nothing. Me and George, we say that.
We talk about it a lot.
Like,
yeah.
Companies would pay you nothing if they could.
Yeah.
They would be like, yeah, just get over there and fucking go deliver those packages.
If they could charge us to work, they really would. Yeah, they really would charge us to work.
So what's next on the Andrew Westman timeline? So you become a steward. When did you go driving?
Okay, so I got hired in 2018, and then I went driving in 2020. Where I'm going from here, I was thinking about feeder, but, you know, that's been halted, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, volume's down, for sure.
Yeah.
That's something in and of itself. I know everyone has their opinions and their ideas about what's going on. Obviously, some of it's definitely the economy. I think our CEO is a fucking worthless piece of shit. I don't think she's an idiot. I think she knows exactly what she's doing.
Okay, that's fair.
She's
she knows
running the company.
She knows how she's fucking us.
Cutting, yeah, exactly. No lube, but she's cutting a lot of jobs, management jobs as well. Now managers are worried about their jobs, supervisors. Yeah. This isn't something new for her. She did it at Home Depot. It is what it is. That's her MO. She's here to bump up profits and make the investors happy for a little while, and then
it's a short-term
dump the company when we're
down,
struggling, and we're struggling.
I think for me, before the feeder thing, while I'm where I'm at, staying focused on like the now, is just getting the younger membership involved. I think that was why I got brought in for, because, you know, when I got brought in, I was probably like 25. And
you're still a little baby.
Yeah, I'm still a baby. But, you know, to make sense of bringing a fresh 25-year-old on only makes sense when, you know, I look like the young membership. I talk like them. I'm with them, you know, and to make use of that is to connect with them and show them, like, you don't have to be blind or like play dumb or not pay attention to this business that's important.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get involved, because later it's going to pay dividends when you know what's good instead of like just turning a blind eye because it doesn't serve you right now. Well, it's going to serve you. So that's
it's only a matter of time for everybody.
That's
those people that don't learn young. I've actually met some, you know what I mean? That it's finally come their turn to be harassed or whatever, you know, and they're like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, you don't know how to play this game? This is a game that we play at UPS. Management tries to fuck with you and you work safe.
Yeah. You know, I was just talking about this to Sabas. I was telling him
Who?
Sabas.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Bananas, dude. My
Sawas.
little daughter.
Sabas.
when my kid was like 5, she couldn't say his name. Like, it was weird for her, so she called him Bananas. I've been calling him Bananas for years. And the other day at the dinner, I call him Bananas. He's like, "Why do you call me Bananas?" I was like, "Because my kid calls you Bananas, dude." But I was just talking to him, and like,
We gotta get the little hello, my name is, with bananas on it. I'll slap it on him next time I see him.
I was talking to him about it, and you know, when you're in my position, you're relatively new to the company still, and you're put in this position to be like forced to learn and to build knowledge and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't really know how much you know because you only know what you know when it's been tested. And I feel like I'm just getting into the groove of knowing and being confident that I'm armed with a sufficient amount of information and knowledge, because of before, you know, I didn't know shit, and I got put in this position and I understand what my role was. But now I'm finally like, I go into these meetings, I'm like, I know it's good now. Like, I can play this game too. I go out there and I work safer than anyone I know. I'm the safest person out there. And so, with like Nick, like kind of mentoring me in that way of like, you know, he told me like, drive like there's a supervisor on your car every day. And if you can do that, like we said, like that's the safest way. The safest way for a ride. The safest way for accidents. The safest way to protect your job in the future.
Never have to change anything.
Yeah, all you do is just be disciplined, diligent on your methods, and just keep trucking. And if you're honest and you work safe, you always have a place to clock in.
And they can get as mad as they want.
Yeah, they do.
I know they do.
They definitely do.
I know they do.
They definitely do.
You're a driver now. You've been driving for how long?
4 years.
4 years. Top rate yet?
In June.
Soon.
Three
Top
and
rate.
some change, but yeah, in
Are
June.
you freaking out?
Yeah, dude. I think it's gonna be definitely a little bit of a
what is it,
game
like
changer.
$11
Yeah,
increase at that point?
that's going all the ammo.
That's going all the ammo.
I'm going to spend the exact same amount of money, and then everything else is going to ammo. That's awesome. But, I mean, congratulations, dude. I mean, that's something to be admired as well. Just the steward aspect alone, being 1 year in, being a steward, and then
It's mind-blowing.
basically being a steward your whole career since then. I mean, if you can go your whole career being a steward, that like with 1 year missing, that's fucking nuts. That's crazy.
Yeah, like you asked me, where do I want this journey to take me? You know, like I said, feeder. If I ever get an opportunity to serve this local, I would consider that too. I definitely don't think
Eric?
I'm ready yet. I think I'm the first person to think that the best man for the job should be getting the job, not based off friendships, not based off anything. So I think that I have a lot more learning to do, because I want to step into if I ever step in that position, I want to make sure that I'm as armed and ready to go to make sure that I make the most of that situation and perform the best for the membership, because ultimately that's all we care about is our membership. That's all we have.
And I think, it's funny you talk about the job. And I think that there are a lot of smart people and a lot of people that could do the job and that even think they might want the job, because we run into this quite a bit. And I don't mean this to scare you. I don't, the job is not a job. The job is a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
I mean, the amount of hours that we work, the amount of, and not in every aspect, but the amount of bullshit we put up with,
It's far greater.
The weekends, the long days, long nights. I mean, all hours when people are on strike, we'll do our normal job during the day or whenever, and then we have to take, 4
Shifts.
to 6 hour shifts on a strike line.
I've seen you there.
24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. Takes a different breed.
Like
Yeah.
this job, drop of a hat. Hey, I need you to, fly over here. We got some stuff going on. We got an organizing campaign. We got this. We got that. Drop of a hat, dude. You're on call basically 24/7. That's the job. It's a lifestyle. It's not a job.
I think that speaks to your love and dedication to this local and the membership. And it, like you said, it's not for everybody.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. But being a steward is that first step, and you guys are, honestly, I think you guys are more important than us. You guys have that first, you're the first level of defense. By the time the steward, by the time the agents get in, a lot of the stuff has already happened. The dust is kind of settling. Yeah. You guys are there on the shop floor, ready to go, in those meetings, those disciplinary meetings and whatnot. And it's definitely not an easy job.
I wouldn't change anything. I would run that back 10 times out of 10.
That's awesome.
Being disciplined and diligent on, like, kind of watching your own ass. Like, UPS is not going to teach you how to do that,
UIA.
Like, I was lucky to be taught by Nick and Sawas how to do that. And, obviously it's up to me to continue to do that, but I can't foster everyone and monitor if they're being diligent on covering their own ass, so that's
what's funny. We actually discussed this a little bit in my Teamster Tuesday meetings about, none of us can get to everybody individually. That's just not
impossible.
Happen,
it's never going to happen.
But every one of us needs to reach out to a few people or touch a few people. You're a driver, you're loaders, maybe when you come in, you're Metro unloader guy who's unloading your truck. You know what I mean? Like, just stuff like that. Like, where you build those relationships and you kind of build the younger generation, let them know what they have as rights, what their benefits are, all that good stuff. It kind of leads into the class, because I was going to ask you a question about the class you had mentioned earlier. We had a steward training seminar. Why don't you go through that a little bit?
Yeah.
Just kind of run us through what that was all about.
It was super good. I have definitely learned a lot from it. And one of the things that stood out to me the most was building those relationships. Like, a lot of times that could take backseat to the business of defending workers' rights, but building that trust and relationship with your membership. And it's an individual thing. You can't just go and shoot a shotgun bunch of pellets and connect with people. It's you putting in the man hours to go walk up and get to know every member, and that's how it's gonna pay off for this local and this movement is getting these people involved by getting to know these people and getting to know what makes them tick, like what was said, or what's important to them,
Yeah.
And everyone's different, and not, maybe I might not appeal to every single person that's at UPS if I go up to them, but that's why we have most, maybe I definitely don't disagree, but when you stand up for something, people will not like you for it, but I feel like I do it for the best interest of the membership. Yeah. And if you don't like that, then that's your fucking problem, dude. That's the way I feel about it.
No, I definitely agree. Those individual conversations that we have are the building blocks, and even more so when you represent somebody maybe that you don't talk to a lot, or you don't have that personal relationship, and you represent them, and you get them off something, or you get managers to to get off their ass or, whatever. You do a good job representing them, and that sparks that relationship and that trust. And it really is, at the end of the day, about the trust portion, because these people don't really know, especially when they're new, what does the union do? What, I'm paying these dues. What am I getting out of it?
What am I getting out of my
It becomes more
payments?
of the service, like you were talking about, right?
What it boils down to is the trust is going to help in the factor of if they're on the teeter-totters, am I going to go with the guy who I don't know who says he's for me, or the guy who's cutting the check that's promising me the world? And if you don't build that relationship with them and they don't really know what we're about, they don't know what we're here for, they're going to choose the easy, quick route of going with the guy who's cutting the check, and that guy's going to fuck them eventually. And they're being led to the slaughter, dude. John hopes. You can watch.
I have questions now about your prom night, John.
What? Whatever. Anyways, it's like we were discussing, those individual relationships are key, and the whole purpose of that and building the trust, like you said, is not only those instances, of that, I guess, in like the finer details of that. Basically what you said is more like on picket lines, like when you got a company that's coming after members that need to go on strike, and you have managers on the other end saying, well, you should come back to work and we'll just give you a raise and we'll take care of you. And
we'll ignore all this strike shit.
We'll stroke your hair and we'll, and we'll rub your back, and then we'll see what happens. You know what I mean?
What's crazy is I was delivering to a customer that was the pharmacist at my local Vaughn's that my dad used to go to like 20 years ago. And I was talking to him, and I remember them being on strike, and come to find out when I was talking to him about it en route, I was like, I learned that they struck for 6 months. Damn. And when I found out like how long it was, I was like, dude, this dude is hard. Like 6 months without a paycheck. He's like, I thought it was a vacation. I was grilling at Veterans Park, and then it turned into 6 months.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. I mean, we just had Jake Bowman on. He's Jake the Knight from Medieval Times, and they were on strike for literally the entirety of a year.
Yeah,
a little bit more.
I watched that one. That was a good one.
A little bit more.
Tough.
And that's tough. That's some real shit.
And people will walk around, strike for 2 weeks, and think they're big dick. And I hear about 6 months. That's where you really battle tested. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's rough. 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely would have people at that point really consider crossing, because they're like, oh, I've got to fucking feed my family.
Right, I have no money.
I get it, but at the end of the day, you're fighting for something way bigger than you, and you're fighting for yourself. You might not see it, but it's almost in, and you're fighting for it not to go in.
Yeah.
So many innuendos today. It's great.
One thing I wanted to mention, when we're talking about the membership, is that I feel like they are scared to throw the first punch or hold their management accountable. And I always tell them, they are not afraid to hold you accountable.
Oh, 100%.
So do not show mercy.
First chance they get under the bus.
Do not show mercy, dude.
100%.
100%. 100%.
I always say they will sell you out for a pat on the back. And
no, I hear you. I actually tend to agree with you. That's management.
The second you fuck up,
something else.
Right on the chopping block. It's exactly where you go.
Because when you pull a member aside and explain, what management's doing wrong, they don't always disagree. They'll agree with you, but then be too timid to fire that necessary shot.
No, I agree.
Because they don't want to throw the first punch, but it's like, dude, these guys will fucking sell you out so quick. Like you need
they don't
to
even
look out for
notice that
you and your
the first
family.
punch has already been thrown.
Yeah.
That's a good one, dude.
I mean-
They've been throwing punches,
Yeah.
and you didn't even look at, dude.
You got in the ring, you didn't even know. They already
even know.
fucking punch you in the back of the head. Donkey punch you.
We got to get a count on these innuendos.
Maybe if I can remember, I'll keep a count on it.
Oh fuck. Well, I mean, you know, we don't have too much more to talk about, but I do want to kind of ask a question of a closing question. So you said, you know, you kind of represent or are our representation of that younger group. So it's going to be a question, and then I want to get you a statement. So where do you think that we need to get better at, if you want to call it organizing or internal organizing? How can we as the Teamsters, as unions in general, how can we get better at reaching the younger generation?
I think that you have to speak their language and give them the access to it, and that it's not going to be by news flyers. It's not going to be, you know, just some random shit. Like everything's instant. They need it on their phones. They need it like quick. It's kind of the generation, and you need
a
it.
TikTok account.
You need to be able to connect with them on their turf, on the way that they communicate and what they're into, you know, and I don't see that yet. I think that's something that should, like you said, should be addressed, because
That's what we're here trying to do.
They will get involved if they know more about it and know why it's important and have that confidence, because I think that confidence is the key to this pie, and the knowledge is the other part to that. It's like they don't know it. If you don't know what your rights are, you don't know how much power this union could have or does have, then you would be scared too. You know, the guy cutting your check, you know, definitely threaten to take it away if you get if you get involved or whatever. But you need to know that we're for you and we have your back, and you don't need to go bootlick and hope that they don't fuck you, you know? Yeah. And I think just connecting with the younger membership on their terms, you know, is going to pay off.
So what would you, I mean, a little kind of, I guess, clarifying question. What would you say that, where's our most needed, do you think our most needed improvement? Do you think it's in like the social media?
Yeah, I think social media, I think sending business agents to go talk to these younger groups, you know, pull them aside, like in person definitely helps. Social media, giving them the access to this information, you know, because I post the information on my Instagram, but you know you're gonna be hard pressed to get some of these younger guys in the hall.
Yeah,
and it sucks that that's the way it is. And when you get them involved, they're going to be more inclined to come into the hall. But you're not going to get them in the hall without them knowing why. Why is it important for me to come here?
Why am I going to waste my 2 hours on a Saturday once a month to go see what's up?
Yeah, they're in their jammies eating cereal, watching cartoons. You know, they're not going to interrupt that. They're not going to interrupt that.
Little feetsy pajamas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess what would your call, like, so, like I said, the question, I appreciate the answer, but now what would your call to action be to that younger generation?
Improve the social media, make it accessible for all the members, more personable time with the membership. It's definitely hard because you guys have 1,000,001 things on your plate. So this is just, in a perfect world, this is what I think should happen: is better social media interactions, more personable conversations, maybe more classes or training. Like, and Eric's done a great job with that. Like driver PCMs when it's just union based. Like it's not a management PCM. It's
Like my Teamster Tuesdays.
Yeah. Like when you go in there and say, hey, we're meeting on union business right here before work, right in front of the center, to show everyone this is what we're about. You know, I think that's powerful because a lot of things are monkey see, monkey do, and you bring these new guys in, and they see, well, we meet on Tuesdays before work, and we talk about our union business right here, and I think it's going to get more people involved because a lot of people are kind of hive minded, and you have to build that like we said, that trust, show them the ropes, and this is how it works here. Because if you let these guys pick their own lane, everyone's going to be scattered, that like we're a collective, we're the Teamsters, we're here, we're not leaving, you have to be a part of this. This is in everyone's best interest to be a part of this and to learn your way in the union,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get involved.
Get involved. Invest in yourself, even though what's this fuck isn't here.
Who?
I said, what's this fuck? Bananas.
Bananas. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bananas isn't here.
Fuck Sawas. It's all right. We love you, Sawas. I know it's almost your birthday. Yeah, that being said, I think we're officially going to wrap it up for the day. Well, thank you very much for enlightening us today, for sharing some time with us. I know it's the weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend once again. So appreciate you, Andrew.
I appreciate you guys for having me on. I love this setup, your guys' podcast.
Well, we're trying.
I'll come on here a million times if you let me. So.
Oh, you hear that, Gary? It's coming for your spot. But anyways, thanks for coming on. Thank you guys out there for tuning in every week. We're trying to crank out the content.
Sorry.
Do what we got to do, but appreciate you. Please like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, ocst.952.
Email us at ocst.000@gmail.com with all your questions, comments, and concerns. Also want to give a quick shout out to all the stewards, all the business agents. You guys do so much work. Want to give a quick shout out for that.
To the
also,
stewards.
shout out to all the moms.
George loves moms.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Belated, I guess.
See you next week.
See you next week.